Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we dive into the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and explore the road ahead for them and their companies. I'm your host, Jay Encarnacion, and in each episode, we uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced along the way, and the strategies driving their future growth. Today, we are thrilled to have Jamie J., the founder and CEO of Bottleneck Distant Assistance. Jamie brings a fascinating mix of expertise as a U.S. Army veteran and a paratrooper, nearly 30 years of business experience generating scalable systems, and a passion for helping business leaders delegate effectively through remote teams. Based in Springfield, Missouri, Bottleneck Distant Assistance, founded in 2018, is revolutionizing how founders and executives build efficient operations and attract opportunities. We'll be exploring his founding story, how his business empowers clients in the delegation and remote assistance space, and his vision for scaling this impact-driven venture. So with that being said, let's dive right into it. Jamie, welcome to Founders Future.
Thank you, Jay. I'm stoked to be here, man. I love this stuff. It's freaking awesome. And I love what you're doing, man.
Thank you so much. A pleasure and an honor. And thank you so much for your service. I can already feel your energy and your presence is incredible. So truly looking forward to the conversation here for our listeners. Jamie, if we could start at the beginning for us here, what specific problem in the delegation and remote work landscape really inspired you to start Bottleneck Distant Assistance?
Yeah, it was an accident, actually. I was in a mastermind group. I've been hiring assistants for over 20 years now, so 2 decades of hiring. So I learned a thing or two about it, but I didn't know I could actually have a business out of it. And I was part of a mastermind, and they kept other members in the mastermind were like, "How do you keep getting these amazing people?" And I said, "Well, I don't know. Can I get one?" I'm like, "Sure. What are you looking for?" And they said it. I called my buddy and I said, "Hey, find somebody for this guy." And he went to where, and they go, "Oh my gosh, this is terrific. You should start a business." And I said, "Oh, that's a good idea. I think I'll do that." I got sick of building websites. It was really nice. And yeah, we started doing that and never looked back. It's been a blast.
Absolutely incredible. So with that, I definitely want to get right into the nuts and bolts with you, right? Especially for our listeners here who are the founders, entrepreneurs, business owners. I know there's a lot to relate on that front. Walk us through really what the core offers today for Bottleneck Distant Assistance, how you're generating revenue. Again, all the core offerings and who is the ideal client that you work with on those offerings.
Okay. Yeah, I can start with the ideal client, as you affectionately refer to as ICP. That would be, there's 3 different kinds. First, we deal with coaches and consultants. Number one, because coaches and consultants need administrative support, but they also have a wonderful network of people that they work with that are amazing targets for us because they're working with people that are growing in business. And that's us. That's who we are. The second group would be agencies, marketing agencies, advertising agencies, insurance agencies, real estate agents, any kind of agency environment we really thrive in. And then the third is construction companies. I had no idea there was so much administrative support needed for construction companies. So yeah, we work with those 3 different groups, I guess you could say. And our targets are C-level executives or founders or business owners that are just totally overwhelmed in their day-to-day. They're working 60, 70, 80, 90 hours. I talked to somebody who was working 90 hours a week and they're trying to do everything. Here's the thing. And then I'll shut up because I know this kind of rapid fire type one to get this done in 20 minutes, but it's really important for people to hear this because if they're the person that's going through this, they're going to resonate.
Yes.
Here's the challenge. When you start your business out, Jay, when you started your business, why did you start your business? I'm just curious.
Honestly, just to help people, to be out there, to put that information out there.
Why this specific industry?
This is through what we do at Closers, right? So we are in the same similar realm, helping coaches, consultants, agencies, and what we do is help scale. So what this is bringing awareness to, speaking with other founders, seeing what they do, seeing how they operate, and then bringing forward some either challenges that we could solve together on the podcast, or how have we solved those challenges so other founders, entrepreneurs, business owners can take that content and be more successful within their world.
Are you good at closing?
Yeah.
Are you passionate about that?
Absolutely.
Okay. How about bookkeeping?
No, probably not.
Okay. How about, do you like doing social media?
Not, no, I wouldn't prefer to do it. I'd rather have a team.
Okay. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Most people start their deal because they're passionate about, in your case, closing.
yeah,
That is I wish I had that. I wish
yeah,
I did. And the reason why is because I know I could build the heck out of this company a lot quicker, right?
yeah.
But I'm not a closer. And I didn't start Bottleneck to be a closer. I didn't start Bottleneck to be a bookkeeper. I didn't start Bottleneck to do social media. I started it because I want to lessen the burden of people doing administrative work, and I'm really good at systems and processes. I
Yes.
wrote a book on it, right? Now that's what I'm passionate about. But what happens when your listeners, they start their business because they're passionate about that. They're not necessarily passionate about AI. They know AI is really big. Some people, that's their business. They have AI companies. Other people, every company guess now is AI, but you didn't start this business to do AI.
Right.
Now you may have made it easier, but here's what's going to happen the next 3 to 6 months. You're going to start seeing people achieve burnout because of AI,
Hmm.
because AI takes a long time to put stuff together, right?
Yeah.
Our delegation IQ blueprint is AI driven. It took us 4 months, 3 months to build that thing.
Yeah.
That's the difference. If you can find people that get tons of energy out of bookkeeping, doing AI, social media, and you get to focus on closing what gives you, I just help these people scale, man. I know you've high fived after calls before because that's just you were like, I closed them, I did
Yeah.
it, and I think other people get a similar feeling like that. So it's really important that people understand that's the distant assistant, that's the delegation intelligence framework.
Absolutely incredible. So with that, how do you break that down as an offer for the clients that come to you? What does that look like when you're speaking with that C-suite, the founders, the business owners? What are you laying out for them as far as offers?
Yeah, we're asking where their challenges are. So
Okay.
and I can identify what kind of role and or roles and the responsibilities within the roles they're looking for. But I'm looking for places that really don't give them energy that they can delegate to someone else. And so what I'll roll out is a full-time administrative support. And that could be sales support, success management. That could be project coordinating all the different things going on in the business. It could be social media person. It could be an executive assistant to book travel for them, to answer phones for them, to research for them. It could be a bookkeeper, right? It could be a customer service representative. Those are the 6 roles we specialize in. But what we'll do is identify what that is, and then we'll roll out full-time support for them. And we have the GOAT system, which is the Growth Operations Assistant team. So if they need to hire multiple assistants to fill those different roles, I say, especially now, any company that does not have remote support, fractional CFOs, things like that, anything or administrative, you are really missing out.
So essentially, you're going in, working with these companies, you're consulting with them, seeing really where the pain points are, and then bringing in your talent into them, recruiting them in. So with that, as far as that goes, is that the main piece there? Do you offer any coaching or consulting? Or is that really the main
Yeah,
piece
I
you're
don't, I
thinking
try
bringing
not to, I guess I do, but I don't charge for it. If people want to take advantage of it, I'm happy to do that stuff. I love it. I love that stuff. I got a call from a client of mine, and on a sidebar, I'm sorry, but this is a really important
in?
story because
Yeah.
this changed the whole dynamic of what I believe. And I started this company because I thought it was going to make me a lot of money. I
Yes.
thought I was going to be killing it. I've been homeless 3 times in my life,
Wow.
twice as a kid, once as an adult. It's not fun. I
Wow.
never wanted to be in that position again. So I said, I'm going to start a company I can make money on.
Yeah.
And I got a call on a Saturday, and he goes, "Hey, Jamie." I said, "What the heck are you doing calling me on a Saturday? You hired an assistant
Yeah.
for me. So you wouldn't be working on a Saturday." He goes, "That's exactly why I'm calling. I'm not working Saturday because it's the first time I've taken off this year." And I said, "Oh my God, what are you going to do?" He said, "I'm going to take my wife and kid out to dinner and a movie." And I said,
Amazing.
"Good for you." And I thought that was pretty amazing. Here's the real thing, Jay. The phone rustled away. His wife got on and said, "Jamie, thanks for giving me my husband back."
That's amazing.
So I you look like a pretty big dude. You're lifting the weights and stuff. I used to be a lot bigger, but I'm a tough guy riding Harley. I played hockey, like I boxed in the
Yeah.
army. I jumped out there,
Oh
but
yeah.
man, I started crying,
Yeah.
and it totally changed everything. And I said, "Oh my God." So that's what this is about. So
Yes.
now that way, like I said, I don't charge for consulting, and people, quite frankly, they may say they want it, and half the time, more than half, they won't take me up on it. But that's the reason that I do this now, because if I can give somebody 10 hours or 15 hours back a week, imagine what they can do now that they have their head cleared out a little bit. That's what pushes me.
Absolutely. I love that. So, with that right there, then, Jamie, talk to us a little bit about the acquisition side. What is working best for you right now to get new clients in, leads, and consistency and predictability around that? What channels are you seeing most effective, whether it's ads, referrals, social media, events? Talk us through what's working best there and what challenges you're facing on bringing in consistent leads.
Yeah, challenges. Referrals is working. I need to do more referrals. We just hired our first salesperson, account executive, so I'm stoked to see how that goes. And it's 100% commission based, which is really awesome. And then social media is doing all right. Yeah, but we did paid ads and that didn't really work for us. And I hired a couple different consultants for that, and both times we fell on our face. But I have a friend that has another agency and they're killing it. So obviously I did something wrong there. But I would say just getting the word out and doing stuff like this with you. This is what I need to keep doing. And I just need to keep at it. I can't get bogged down because sometimes I get man, I get down in the dumps when I don't get business. And I'm like, man, why? What am I doing wrong? And so it's keeping my motivation up, I think. But referrals definitely are probably my biggest.
And I think that's the big, everything happens for a reason. So definitely glad to have you on the show, Jamie. And I think that's a big thing is we have a lot of clients that we work with where they were having a hard time with the ads and then they came in and a big thing that we do is look at the offer, right? And what you're doing around that. And then the messaging is the key. The messaging is the absolute key, especially when you're on Meta or when you're on Instagram or when you're on LinkedIn, the messaging has to fit the mold for the ICP you're going after. So I think that's a big thing. Are you doing anything right now to make adjustments towards that, or have you put the ads on the
Oh yeah.
back burner for a bit? What does that look like?
Yeah, we went exactly through three different companies
Mm,
and I didn't get one lead, not one. And I'd be open to looking at something down the road, but I think right now, I think with this launch of the delegation intelligence framework, that has really changed the dynamic of the dialogue. And
mm,
so now we're starting to find the right fit clients, right? It's
yes,
just I want to speed that up. That's why we
exactly.
hired the account executive, and I think that's what it's going to be. It's going to be a lot more video. When we did our first In the Madness campaign, it was 6 video series. Our first video got 29 hits. 6 days later, we got almost 2,000 views.
Beautiful.
It's just amazing what consistency will do.
So with the delegation dynamic framework, is that something that you're just pushing out on social media to attract and bring in the SCP? What exactly are you utilizing with that to
Yeah.
bring?
So that's the Delegation IQ blueprint,
Yep.
and it's a free assessment. And what I was finding was that I was setting up consultations prematurely before. And so they weren't quite ready. They were just finding who we were and what we could do something down the road. So we launched that Delegation IQ blueprint and it's free, takes about 2 minutes, but you can use your voice to answer and
Yeah.
it'll send you a report that says, okay, this is who you are. These are the challenges you have. These are how you overcome those challenges. And there's the roles that you can hire from Bottleneck that you could delegate all this stuff to. And then this is what your life's going to look like 6 months down the road. Right.
Yes.
And that's been really good because we leverage the power of generative AI. And also, we leverage the enriched data. So every single assessment is unique to Jay or to whomever is taking it. And then they get an opportunity to schedule a consultation after that. And now all of a sudden, I know what they're looking for so that we can save them a ton of time during that consult.
So with that, there obviously sounds like a bigger bottleneck. There is more on the predictability side of the lead generation, as you mentioned. Just thinking, what can I do to get more? So with that, is there anything else that you're really thinking about right now on the bottleneck side? Whether it is bringing more on the sales team side to help that AE or keep growing, what else are you thinking about on the bottleneck side, or is it really solving that main predictability issue?
I think it's mean. I think it's a. I mean, I think it's all of the above, really. Yeah, we have a full training for our AEs, account executives. I'm sorry, we have full training for them. I have plans of hopefully this person that's coming on board really shows some great promise, and who knows, maybe he might turn into a manager, and we start
Right.
having other. If I could get 10 to 12 people out there talking about this, holy
Yeah.
moly, it would be awesome.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Talk to me about the vision then here, Jamie. What does the rest of this year look like? Obviously, you have the delegation dynamic, you have some growth going with the AE, figuring things out, putting the pieces into place. What are you laser focused on to really achieve that success, growth, and scale the rest of this year going into 2026?
Oh, great question. So hyper focused on building. building what we have right now. We closed down all of our marketing efforts for about 4.5 months to reimagine our infrastructure so that we were able to scale more effectively, right? So before, if I got a request for 5 people, no problem. If I got a request for 20, that was a problem. Now I feel confident that if we get 20, 30, 40, 50 people, no problem. We could do it. And now that we've taken care of all of that and we're in full growth mode again, I see us finishing off super strong. December's never really a great month for us anyway, so we shut
Yeah.
down half the month. But other than that, I've no doubt that we will do really good the rest of the year. And then I'm going to launch next year off and kick it off in my own event next year. So I'm really looking forward to next year.
Incredible. Incredible. With that, there, I got one more question before going into the lightning round, Jamie. And on this side, I would love to hear from you how you see the delegation and remote assistance industry evolving in the coming years, especially with your systems backed approach, how you're integrating and weaving AI into things. What are you doing to really keep yourself at the forefront of that evolution?
Created our own category, right? So we're the world's first dedicated distant assistant company. That's a lot different than a virtual assistant because people are getting confused. A virtual assistant could be a chatbot or a virtual assistant could be a human being. People don't really know, but they also know that virtual assistant is also working with multiple people at the same time. So people are confused, like, how does this work? A distant assistant is very clearly defined. As a matter of fact, I have a couple people that own agencies who's transferred. They're no longer calling their agencies virtual assistants. They're calling them distant assistants because there's a massive differentiation. And that's why I didn't trademark it. I'm super proud that I was able to launch the dedicated distant assistant platform. But with that comes, over and beyond what their skill set is, the working knowledge to build and maintain workflow management best practices, delegation best practices. There's so many things that are attached to the delegation intelligence framework, which is a category that has never been created before. And the best part about all of that stuff is you've heard of HR departments, you've heard of sales departments and marketing departments and operations departments. There's all kinds of departments, but there's still massive amounts of turnover. There are massive amounts of people that are not living up to certain expectations. And so they hate their managers. So they go and they leave, or someone goes down the road and they're going to work for 50 cents more an hour. And people say they got to improve their HR departments. And I go, no, that's the wrong way of thinking. You got to hire a dedicated distant assistant to launch your very own delegation department. And then that way I'm telling you right now, it works. I was at 38% turnover. We're down to 8.7. Prior
Wow.
to the start of this, the average length of stay was 5 months.
Wow.
We increased that by 670%. The average length of stay now is 39 months.
Wow.
It's insane. And so that is the difference in creating your own category. So that's a big game changer.
I absolutely love that. So, with that, going into the closing lightning round, just want to finish off with one more piece here. I can sit here and talk to you all day, Jamie. I love the energy that you bring to the table, to the conversation, and clear as day that you're providing that quality for your clients. So, truly, thank you so much for being on the show. So, yeah, to finish us off, I would love to just hear some advice from you for our listeners. I know you got some good ones in the tank there. What can you leave our listeners with before we wrap up the show today?
I would say if you need to do a brain dump a minimum of once a week. And
Mm,
what does that mean? It doesn't have anything to do with work. It could be home. It could be a mixture. That's why I don't believe in work-life balance. I believe in life balance.
yes.
Just do a brain dump. And I think what you're going to find out is when you do a brain dump, it's whatever you perceive this to be, but you'll start seeing that you're going to start going, oh, I got to take the trash out. Okay. Don't forget to make coffee tomorrow morning. Oh, I got to change the oil in the car. Oh, I got to write that report I got to just start writing all that stuff down. If you do that once a week, what'll happen is it will clear up your brain. And if you can get all that stuff out and either written down or typed out or whatever medium you choose to work on, you'll start seeing that you'll have more clarity and you'll have more creativity, which is huge as a business leader because you need that clarity and that creativity in order to create the vision and follow your mission.
Love it. I absolutely love that. With that right there, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to wrap up another inspiring episode of Founders Future. And Jamie, truly cannot thank you enough for coming on the show, sharing your incredible journey and your insights with myself and the listeners. Again, clear as day, the energy, the drive, the passion that you have. It's infectious. And the conversation was incredible. And it was an honor and a pleasure to have you on the show today. Would love to have you back in the future as well, Jamie. So again, thank you. And to our listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, which I know so many of you have, Don't forget to subscribe to Founders Future wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. And also check out Bottleneck Distant Assistance at bottleneck.online for their free Delegation IQ quiz. And follow Jamie on LinkedIn at linkedin.com/in/Jamie J. And for more resources and insights, you can visit us here at closers.io, where we are dedicated to helping businesses accelerate their growth. Until then, keep climbing, and we will see you on the next one.